Hello everyone. A friend just the other day after I put up the Moringa video, she asked me if I could explain Dilaudid, but I'm also explain fentanyl here as well. To me, I've been on a lot of different ones. Morphine is like, it'll last for 10 minutes and then the pain is back. Dilaudid is way more stronger than morphine. If you've ever had an epidural, it's kind of like what Dilaudid reminds me of. It's a long acting. I would say it would act for about 4 hours, but on the Dilaudid, I was on the IV at first when I would be in the hospital, of course. It would probably last for about 4 hours, and then I was on the pills a long time ago as well when they did have the pill form. It would probably last about 4 hours too. I forgot the milligram I was on. I don't even know if they still do Dilaudid in the pill form, but yes, I say Dilaudid is way stronger than morphine. And if you've ever had an epidural, you know what I mean. It's like you get it through the IV and the whole body is numb. Like you can't feel any pain at all. It was some good sleep too. Now the fentanyl, I want to discuss that here too. I was once prescribed fentanyl, probably about 2 years ago. I was prescribed the fentanyl patch. And I was told a lot of stuff about the fentanyl before the prescription was actually wrote. I was told that, so you start here for 3 days. After the 3rd day, you take it off. And then you go here for 3 days. And then you go here for 3 days. And then you go here for 3 days, okay? That's how the fentanyl patch works. And so when you're on the fentanyl, you want to be careful touching people, hugging people. You want to be careful having people in bed with you because the fentanyl can radiate from you to the other party. I was also told once the fentanyl patch comes off, you need to flush it down the toilet, okay? I was told that it was a very, very strong drug. Now, I will tell you this. I've had fentanyl through the IV. Didn't have any problems at all. None. And I know people's body reacts different to drugs. Some people have a strong tolerance, or their tolerance is more stronger than others, if you get what I'm saying. I have had it through IV, but to this day, I would still prefer Dilaudid over fentanyl because fentanyl has you feel kind of weird. So back to the patch. I'll never forget the day I put it on. So I put it on. I started right here. And as soon as I put it on, my mom came in my room and she said, let's run across the street for a minute, okay? So I said, okay. So we're sitting in this place and it's a food pantry, okay? And so you go in and there's these metal fold-out chairs. So you're kind of playing musical chairs. Everybody's moving a seat over until it becomes your turn, right? So I walked in I was probably about 5 people ahead of Mom because I was in the front row. Mom was in the back row. As I'm sitting there, it was like somebody was squeezing the heck out of my chest. It was like my chest was caving in. I started having trouble breathing, and I was like, darn, I got to get this darn thing off of me. And the man said if you couldn't flush it down the toilet, put it on a piece of paper till you could flush it down the toilet. It hadn't even been 30 minutes, okay? I felt like I was about to die. I was burning up in places that, I wouldn't expect it to be burning up. I looked down. Mind you, I'm sitting in a metal fold-out chair. I had a puddle of water around me from me sweating. I was sweating bullets on this stuff. And it's like, you want to rip your clothes off and everything. And I didn't have any paper in my purse at the time. And I looked back at Mom and I said, Mom, please hand me a piece of paper out your purse that you don't need, because I got to get this thing off of me. So I put it on that paper and we threw it away. But I told the doctor, never, ever, ever again. I thought I was about to die right there in that food bank. So all these videos that y'all see on YouTube about fentanyl poisoning, people ODing on fentanyl, people are even putting fentanyl in the drugs now. You got fentanyl in heroin. They're saying, oh, we got a Percocet, but the Percocet is really fentanyl. They're putting fentanyl in pretty much everything now. And I always try to tell people, if you're out here using recreational drugs, be careful what you're getting, because you don't know what's real and what's not real. But that fentanyl, it is nothing to play with, nothing. And I know that the person that asked me to do this video, she said that someone told her that the fentanyl really wasn't nothing. It is. It's very, very strong. Did I say fentanyl? I meant to say Dilaudid. It is very, very strong, and it can become addicting, if you get what I'm saying, because I know people that's been on Dilaudid for years. That's back when they still had the pill form. I don't know if they even have the pill form anymore, but it's a very high drug, and my experience on it was like having an epidural. Like, my whole body went numb. I couldn't feel any pain at all. Like I told you, I had that joystick there on the bed. I would hit that joystick, boom, it would come through my IV, and I slept the whole time. So some medications you have to be careful with, like, and for example, like mom, it's in Mom's file that she can't have morphine because, like I said, it's different strokes for different folks when it comes to narcotics. Like, Mom hallucinates on morphine. Like, she thinks there's people in the room with her when there's nobody in the room with her. There's another drug called hydrocodone. And I know Mom has had that a couple of years back, and she would have real bad headaches. And she said the best way she can explain it was like she felt like her head was full of metal. So you have to be careful what you take. And that's my story about Dilaudid and fentanyl. But I go back and I tell you, I'll take the Dilaudid through the IV because that's some good sleep. But that fentanyl, don't even dare come with me at it anymore. Period. That is not for me. And also, I forgot to mention this. Sorry. When I was prescribed fentanyl, I was actually also prescribed Narcan. It's this, it was like this little thing, like, it's like a nasal spray. And so the doctor said, you know, if you have any reaction to it or anything, let people around you know that you have the Narcan on you, and to give you 2 sprays if you have any kind of reaction to it. So that right there alone lets you know that that fentanyl, it isn't a joke, and it's nothing to play with. And unfortunately, we're losing a lot of kids out here in the street nowadays due to fentanyl, because they're out here, they're in sports, they get injured. What does the doctor do? The doctor writes them a prescription for Percocets. They get hooked on the Percocets. And then when the doctor no longer writes the prescription, the children are out here in the street looking for Percocets. And so they buy what they think is Percocet, but it's really fentanyl. You have to be careful, and tell your children, listen, if the medicine didn't come from the pharmacy and the doctor didn't prescribe the medicine, don't be out here in the street buying it. Do you know you can touch it and die just by touching it? That's how strong it is. I'm sitting up here telling you, my doctor told me I couldn't have anyone in the bed with me or hug anybody because it would radiate from me to the other party. So I hope I did you justice by letting you know here the difference between the two. And I hope I did great putting a message out here about fentanyl. Be all up in your kids' shit. Go through their shit. Find out what they're doing. Find out what they're taking. Lecture them of what to do and what not to do. And let's save somebody's life.